especially on a weekday and this traffic and weather. I'll introduce myself and the group here. My name is Ayman Nassar, for those who don't know me. With us is Aya Karam. She's one of our interns. She's a senior at Centennial High and working on psychology-related topics. And her mother, sister, Ada, is with us here as well. All right, so inshallah, we'll try to keep this very interactive. We have some slides and stuff to go over, but we don't have to talk about every single thing. It's a small group, and we want to make sure we address any questions. But 3 key things we would like to touch on, inshallah, just a general introduction, the challenges that teenagers face in general, and specifically Muslims, how we do our coaching, and how we work with ADHD teenagers. And we'll talk a bit at a high level about EmpowerOne, which is our coaching program, the success factors for it, our approach and framework, and then lastly, again, some of the risks and opportunities that we see with these young people. All right, so again, keep this interactive. If you have questions, we don't have to wait to that end. I mean, we've planned to have this for about 40, 50 minutes, and then we have about another 40, 50 minutes for questions, but again, we don't have to stick to any specific slide deck. So, who would agree that this is the Hall of Fame? This is what we kind of see it sometimes at home. We feel that our young people are a little lazy, they have low grades, gender, sometimes relations with the older ones, maybe even reaches the point of smoking and things like that. Would you kind of agree that these are the problems we've kind of seen, and these are the challenges that the youth have?
Okay. Procrastination.
Procrastination, yeah, absolutely. That's a big one. That's more common across all youth. But yeah, you're right. We see that a lot. All right, good. However, those are not the root causes. We feel those are just manifestations of something else. And from the past 5 years working with a lot of youth across the different areas in different states, we came to a conclusion these are the really 3 main challenges that these young people are facing. And then it manifests itself in that other longer list. So the question is, who am I? Am I American? Am I Pakistani? Am I Muslim? How can I be Muslim at the same time, go to this school and have fun and please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And I have not seen one Muslim kid who wakes up in the morning and their intention is to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they don't do that. They want to have fun. They want to be good people. But obviously there's a lot of other things around them. One is that they're confused. We tell them this is halal, this is haram. But we don't tell them, okay, how do you do the halal? And if this is haram, what other options do you have? That is something that a lot of young people don't have access to. Of course, temptations. Even as adults in this society, in the world in general today, there's a lot of temptations, advertising, and just the whole, the whole philosophy of marketing and selling stuff and so forth. And it's always filling up their mind. Teenagers typically thinking about a dozen things at one moment. My homework, my soccer, my friend, my parents, I want to sleep, I want to do this, and so on. And then number 3, the support infrastructure that's around them. Whether it's a masjid, the public library, the transportation system in the area that they live in, the swimming pool, whatever it is, their family. A lot of young people don't have extended families. They don't have grandparents in this country. They don't have uncles and aunts. They might not have blood cousins. So, some families get together and they create this virtual extended family where they see the friends of their mothers and fathers as their uncles and aunties. And it kind of helps a little bit, but obviously it's not the ideal situation. So when we talk about identity, it's across the map. The values. We just had a class last week. Some of your children were there. And we talked about what is the definition of identity. And when we first started the first day, a lot of the kids said it's who am I? We were like, okay, give us examples. So Syrian, Egyptian, black, white. That's kind of what came to mind. The second day, we kind of corrected that a little bit or added to it. We said, all right, identity is really the values that you hold dear to. Is what you live your life by. Is basically what we call in Islam the fiqh, the halal, the haram, and so forth. But these are examples. What is my purpose in life? What's next? Okay, I'm in 9th grade. What's going to happen in 10th and 12th grade? Am I ever going to go to college? And if I go to college, what should I study? And why do I need to study that? My parents want me to be this and I want to do something else. Or I don't even need education because I know someone in our community who is 20-some years old and he has never finished school and he's making a lot of money. He's got a house and he's successful by, society's standards. Obviously they're growing, it's a growth spur for them. There's a lot of changes and so forth. Their social status, I need the latest Nike pair of shoes. Social media, Snapchat, Kick, all these kind of things is obviously something, important for them. All right, temptations. They want to succeed at school. Just like they get up in the morning, they don't have that intention to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They also don't have the intention to get an F. No one gets on their school bus like, okay, today I'm going to get an F. But they go on their school bus with the notion that, hey, I want to have fun today. Today is Thursday, the day before the last day of the week, and that means after school I'm going to hang out with my friends. Or, we'll take it easy in the evening, not necessarily do all the homework. We can push some to the weekend. They want to do good in life. They also want, especially those who are like 13 and above, they want to start possessing money. I want to have my own stuff to buy, my own shoes, my own whatever. I want to be independent. And of course, there's peer pressure and so forth. They want to look nice and be happy and all that. All right, when it comes to support infrastructure, we talked earlier about this. Again, things as simple as the bus service. We've seen young people who want to come to some event at the community, but their parents are not around for whatever reason, and they just can't come. And they start calling, people who are older than them, hey, can you come pick me up? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But things as simple as that could be detrimental to their ability to really identify who they are and have a comfortable, stress-free life. Because in one part, they're pulled towards what their school friends do, which is, okay, it's Friday, let's go out and hang out in the mall, or just go to the movies. They don't want to sit home and stare at the wall, so they want to go out, but they don't necessarily want to go to the mall. They want to go to the masjid or to Ilya, but they can't come because there's no support service. Some of them. They go to the public library. The Islamic identity is missing, right? There's no literature. We tell them don't watch these movies because they're haram. Okay, what are they going to watch? I mean, we can't expect that a 12 or 13-year-old is going to watch a documentary all the time about Mecca. Right? This is unreal, right? So it's a big problem across the ummah, and of course, we have to recognize that. Something I want to also touch about here, really, really important, especially for ADHD youth, is the relationship between the parents. Parents who don't show intimate relations at home, they don't show compassion, that really reflects very, very strongly on the youth in general, and specifically as we'll talk about later with ADHD youth, because they are more prone to issues later in their life, as we'll talk about that. All right, so if we were to lump all their problems, this is really what they are facing. Stress. We asked a young person, why do you smoke marijuana? Why do you want to hang out with that person from school? And he says, I'm stressed out. And okay, what do you mean you're stressed out? The answer is, well, my parents are always nagging me to do my homework. My school is so rough or tough. They don't understand me. I just need time to relax, And we hear this all the time. And sometimes, we hear things like, I don't know. Did you finish your homework? I don't know. What are your plans for tomorrow? I don't know. What they really mean is, I don't know how to finish it. Or I can't make a decision whether it's done or not because I really am missing some piece of the puzzle. Just this week, a couple of days ago, this young guy, about 14, 15 years old, and I asked him, it was Saturday. So I called him on the phone, I said, what are your plans for today? And his answer was, I don't know. I was like, okay, what can I do to help you figure that out? He was like, I don't know, I don't think you can do anything. I was like, why? I mean, what are you trying to accomplish today? So he kept saying, I don't know. I was like, okay, but what do you want to do today? Come tonight, what would make you feel happy? It's like, well, I'm trying to go out with my friend so-and-so. It's like, oh, okay, so you do know something. You want to go out with your friend. So what are you going to do to make that happen? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, I mean, is your friend just going to drop out of the sky? So he said, well, I talked to him yesterday. I said, great. Did you guys agree on a time? He said, no. I said, a place? No. Then you really did not come up with a plan. So maybe you should go to your parents, see how you can connect with your friend, and ask those 2 questions. So alhamdulillah, by the end of the day, around 5, 6 o'clock, he made it and saw one of his friends, and they went and played basketball or something. But really when they say, I don't know, they really truly have something that is keeping them from coming up with a reasonable response. They know they want to do something, but they even don't know what it is. In that case, he knew that it's a good, nice, sunny day. He wants to go out of the house and interact with someone his age, but he just didn't know how to make that happen. And those are things as simple as that. And if he cannot accomplish that on the Saturday, he will try to do it Sunday, and if he can't, then Monday morning he'll be really frustrated. He'll go to school, not pay attention, not do the homework, come back home frustrated, throw his bag. If he does the homework, he'll do it very sloppy, and then the week is like that until Friday, and then he tries again to see his friend. And if that pattern repeats, we start to see that low performance, and it could turn into bigger issues like, depression and things like that, rebellious at home and so forth. All right, so that's why we see this stuff. This is really results of those other three problems. And if we can address those three problems, these things typically go away by themselves, unless they're really, really severe and they need a different type of intervention. So who are the type of youth that we typically coach? It could be anyone. It could be someone who's pretty good at school, taking AP classes, doing extracurricular. They're active in the community. They might even be a young imam or hafiz and so forth. But we had one guy who's a hafiz. He memorized Quran at 14. He graduated from college at 21 or so. But he had a problem with driving. His whole career could have been at risk, and it was at risk a couple of times, just because he gets arrested every month, maybe twice. One time they were going to lock him up for a full week, and he was still in school. His whole education at that time was at risk because the school was going to kick him out. He had to maintain at least a B level in that college, otherwise he automatically would have to switch to a different college within the same university. And he was about to miss a test, and if he had missed it, he would not have had that B. Luckily, alhamdulillah, the judge accepted a couple of letters from us saying that, we're working with him and so forth. But he was perfect, alhamdulillah, in every aspect of his life, except for just the driving. So really, the profile is anyone who's, a young person. And they're all great people. It's just that they need a little bit of push in one area or another. So this is our overall framework for leadership development at ILIA. 6 cornerstones. It starts with body of knowledge certification, so people learn about certain things. They learn about traits like patience, perseverance, submission, identity, things like that. They learn about 4 styles of leadership: goal leadership, team leadership, self-leadership, and situation. And then we take that and put it, depending on what they're trying to do, their goals, it could be either an internship, it could be a coaching to augment that, maybe some academic enrichment or community service project or some sort of a club, like robotics or cybersecurity or whatever. So that's the high-level framework. And then in those different cornerstones, we apply different types of learning styles. For example, with the knowledge, we teach competencies, so different types of traits and so forth. We do service learning projects either within ILIA or with other nonprofits, other organizations. We have applied learning and then experiential learning, and this is where really the coaching comes in. It's more experiential, a little bit of competency, and then we match it with some internships and stuff like that to do the service learning experience. So what is EmpowerOne? Sort of like a Tarbiyah program. It's a coaching, mentoring, counseling component, 3 components based on some good, intention, of course, from the student and everyone involved. With some, were you going to go over this slide? Did I take your slides?
You took the other 2 slides, it's okay.
Okay, I'll finish this one and then we can switch. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
You should have told me so. All right, so we want to make sure first and foremost that the student has the intention to do this. We never work with a student regardless of their age if they are not sure they want to do that. And the youngest we've ever worked with in EmpowerOne is 12. That's usually the age we would start with. Most of our students are between 13 and 17. We had a couple or a few in college. But they have to clearly say, yes, I want to do this for these reasons. And the very first time we sit down with them, we give them a blank sheet of paper and say, all right, what do you want to do? And you'll be amazed, but 13 years old, they actually write stuff down, and it's very meaningful. I had one guy 2013, he wrote, I want to stop smoking, I want to not talk to girls in a bad way, and start to pray. And he was 13 at the time. So we start with that intention. They have to take action, depending on where they are with their process and so forth. Some people will start to take action earlier than later, and we'll talk about that. But what we mean by action is they set their own goals. Like every day they email their or text their coaches, okay, this is what I'm doing tomorrow. So the student sets the goals, they get some mentoring, and then we try to transform those challenges to opportunities. So they have to be cognizant of their weaknesses and their strengths as well. Type. So I'll let Aya finish this slide, and then I'll come back and show. If there are any questions,